What's happening, guys? Today I want to talk about when it's time to stop dieting. All right, like this is a question I get quite frequently because we can't just diet forever. All right, it's just not going to happen. The body is way too efficient. It adapts down way too easily to what we do to just continue to diet forever, especially if you have a lot of weight to lose. Like, I'm sorry to say it, but you're probably just not going to lose all the weight in one dieting phase. All right, is it possible? Yes. Does it happen? Yes. But at a certain point, it just becomes not worth the effort anymore. But here's the big mistake most people make is, okay, they'll diet for a while, things will go great. Now it'll start getting difficult. Like it always will. It's always going to get more difficult over time. You're never going to continue to see the exact same progress all the time. The body adapts down to what we do. All right, we have less mass that we're carrying around, so we need less calories to move around and do things on a daily basis. All right, your hormones change, your metabolic rate slows down. There's a lot of things that happen to make progress continually harder to see over time. So that doesn't mean just because it gets hard we should give up. And sometimes we definitely have to fight, but at the same time, sometimes we do have to say, hey, this doesn't make sense anymore. So when is that? To me, it's basically down to two things, all right? On one hand, you are already low calorie, you're already doing a lot of cardio, you're not seeing any progress, you've taken some diet breaks, and you've gone through some different strategies, and you just can't quite seem to get things to budge anymore. All right? Weight loss is stalled, you're not seeing changes in measurements or pictures or anymore, and if you continue to make changes, if you continue to drop your calories, it's just going to be so aggressive that you're probably not going to be able to adhere to it anymore. Okay, at that point, we got to stop. We got to reverse diet. Let's work on building, again, let's work on building your metabolism up, building some muscle, putting you in a better spot metabolically, physically, across the board, so that you can come back later on down the road and try to hit another fat loss phase and get the rest of it off, or at least another good chunk of it. All right. So that's the big mistake that I was referring to earlier. Most people get to a point where it's too hard to go anymore, and then they stop, and then they just go right back to their old eating habits, and they probably felt really restricted, so they overate and binged on the things that they were restricted on, which is why I'm a big preacher of flexible dieting, to try to keep this from happening. But weight will come back on so fast if you just quit and go back to your old habits. And the worst part is, not only will you gain all the weight back, you'll probably gain more back. Your metabolism will still be worse off than it was before you even started your diets. And if you do it fast enough, you can actually gain new fat cells. There's just so many things that happen. We got to be really careful about this. So this is why we need to slowly increase our calories and slowly taper our cardio down so that we can try to at least maintain-ish. All right, you might gain some weight and that's okay, but we need to try to minimize it as much as possible while we go through this reverse diet process and build your metabolism back up. And then therefore you're still in a good position to come back down the road and continue another fat loss phase. Whereas if you just do the yo-yo dieting thing, which I have a video on this that shows why if you yo-yo diet and you go up and down too much and too fast, what happens, and I'll link that on here somewhere so you can see that. You just end up in a worse position every single time, and it gets harder and harder and harder to lose weight. And tell me if you are a yo-yo dieter, tell me if that doesn't seem to be the case, where every single time you try to diet, it gets harder. It's true. It's going to happen. It's never going to be as easy as the first time that you dieted. That will always be the easiest thing. And I think that's a big trap for a lot of people too, because you feel like, hey, I lost it so easily this time. If I gain some back, well, no big deal. I'll just lose it again. It ain't going to be as easy the next time. I'm sorry. It just doesn't work that way. So, that's scenario number one. Your calories are too low, your cardio is too high, it's getting too difficult to stick to, all right? And you're just not seeing progress anymore, so therefore you need to change directions. The other scenario to me is, hey, maybe you're still seeing progress. Maybe weight's still coming off, but your life is just getting absolutely hectic. You've got a ton going on, a lot of stress, a lot of things pulling you in different directions. You're having a hard time focusing on it. You're having a hard time sticking to the plan even though you're seeing progress, and you just really feel like, I don't want to do this anymore. It's too hard. I just don't want to do this. That's okay. It is okay to stop your fat loss phase if you don't want to do it anymore. But again, it just goes right back to what I was just talking about. That doesn't mean screw it, eat whatever you want in whatever quantities you want and completely stop doing your exercise and just go off and do whatever. No, go ahead, stop your dieting phase, go ahead, take a diet break or go ahead and start stepping up your calories and go through a reverse diet again here. All right, so just because you can see progress doesn't mean you still should. If it doesn't make sense and you're hating it, you're hating life, and you don't want to do it anymore, don't do it. That's fine. Stop. If you absolutely hate it, I encourage you to stop it. But again, be careful coming out, all right? It will make sense for you to stop and bring your calories up. You'll help yourself. You'll start feeling better. Your hormones will get to a better place. You'll have more energy. You'll get to enjoy more food. There's a lot of benefits to it that come from it, but we have to think big picture, long term, not on, off, on, off. That's the killer. We cannot just stop, start, stop, start. Right? We have to keep making effort, but sometimes we need to back off and make less effort. Okay, so yeah, you're going to maybe exercise a little bit less, and yes, you're going to eat a little bit more, but we need to do it in a smart way so that we can continue to make progress long term and not just on again, off again all the time. So those are the two big things. No matter what, if it's getting too hard to stick to, that's fine. Stop, reverse out. Right? If you're not seeing progress and you're just way too low calorie to continue going, stop, reverse out. That's fine. Reversing is the key, you guys. I cannot stress this enough. You have to reverse diet out of a dieting phase. If you don't, good luck. It's going to be almost impossible for you to hang on to the results that you've got. And I would hate that for you. I hate that so much when I see people have made such great progress and then they just give it all away because it gets too difficult. Don't do that. All right. Hopefully this helps. Any questions, please let me know, and I will talk to you later.
I'm addicted to the love that you're giving. Every minute, every day I've been craving.